should be composted. It's astronomical. And if we took advantage of recycling, we need to improve recycling.
Okay, we're good, Daniel. We're good. We've filled the gap.
We need to improve it.
Now
I'm
we
just
can
telling
actually...
you, we need to improve recycling. You got me going now.
I know, but
because this whole, fabrication of some things can be recycled, some things can't. We need to improve our processes. Anyway, let's talk about what we were going to talk about.
Yeah, the real green room stuff, not the filler.
Right, which is Viva Engage.
Yes. Large feature drop today.
Yammer is no more. Well, okay. I mean, that's being dramatic, right? Because it'll take some time. But Yammer is being re-envisioned.
Yes.
As Viva Engage. I did kind of chuckle a little bit with all the ways they tried to get around saying renamed. They didn't say renamed. Microsoft did not. They said re-envisioned.
Yeah.
Rebranded.
What do you think,
was
though?
One.
Like, if it was going to be reimagined or re-envisioned and be really super different and impactful, they would have had to hold back a whole lot of feature set, like a lot, and then go, ta-da, here's the new Engage. It used to be Yammer, now it's this. It had to be a gradual process, but today, I guess, is the equivalent of doing a massive feature drop. This is why we're different.
Yes. I think, yes, they're going... Okay, so everyone, Yammer is going to be renamed to Viva Engage.
Yep.
First on mobile and the integration points with Outlook, and then in March, and then later on, Viva Engage will be on the web as well. They'll rename it. Mm-hmm. But they're talking about the rollout now of things we've talked about on the show. Leadership Corner, advanced analytics, campaigns, ask me anything events, storyline. So, answers in Viva. So, Darrell.
Yes.
Why don't you talk about one of those?
I will, and I'll keep it short because there's so much more to say, but let's just do that. My pick out of that, and I'm engaged in an Engage project right now for a large customer. So I get to try all this stuff out. Is the Leadership Corner, which when I first heard about it, I thought, okay, it's a portal. You go there and that's where your leaders can hang out and you can ask them questions and it kind of aggregates all stuff. But the aggregation is actually a bit smarter than that, Daniel. It looks across the communities that you belong to, the leaders that I guess are in your org chart somewhere up the chain, so that the Leadership Corner looks different depending on who you are and who you're following and who your leaders are. So you can see all the leadership content, but it is going to emphasize leadership content that is relevant to you. What do you think? Good?
Yeah, I think it is good. And it does play into, storyline as well. I think that's with being able to, do those announcements and everything. But that's not the thing I wanted to talk about.
You tell me about your thing.
I wanted to talk about, and it's something that we did cover, which is answers in Viva. And that rolling out, being able to get those answers, get those information into the hands of your users, whether that's helping with onboarding or that's enhancing your knowledge and the institutional knowledge in your organization. And then, with that coming to Viva Topics later, in those topic pages in this year, plugging all of that in so that it's, here's a topic. Let's get some answers about this and diving down and going down the trail. So
very cool. Quite exciting stuff. There's going to be more, of course, as it actually arrives and people start trying this stuff out. So stay tuned. But we are ready for the show, so let's crack into it.
Hello, friends, and
Hello.
welcome to episode 272. It is, I think we're making some progress here in our numbers. We're 272 episodes. Wow. And Darrell
just
hasn't
like
gotten tired of
yesterday.
me yet, or he's been able to control himself and not express that he's tired of me. Anyway, I am Daniel. Hello, everyone. And that over there is the great Darrell C. Webster.
Oh, well, that's C for cloud, C for something. I don't know.
Something, I don't know.
C for
C
something.
sounded good.
C,
Hey, but you assumed
service.
it was a letter. It could be the word C.
C. Ah, okay. I see. Right. Yeah, welcome everyone. This is a good episode. We're going to cover a few messages. We've also talked a little bit about the feature drop for Engage. That's been quite exciting. But yeah, we want to bring value to you again and go deeper into some of these messages that arrived over the week. Give you a bit of context, our thoughts, how we think it might impact your organization, what you might need to do to prepare for change. And that's why this show is valuable to you. So what do we do, Daniel?
It is valuable. And if you don't think so, you need to reconsider. You're thinking wrong.
Right.
Right.
We need to convince them by showing them more value.
No, what we need to do is to remind people that go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel or to the podcast. If you're listening on the audio version, we are found at wherever you get your podcasts. Also, give this a thumbs up or a rating, and make sure that you connect with us on socials, 365 MCS. And I think that's important for us to talk and make sure that people connect with us. You know, connectors are a really good thing, and they should never be retired.
Well, that's just a beautiful transition there. We do have a couple of people that might be interested in hearing some more about Viva Engage and discussing that. So let's see how we go through the end of the show. Let's get cracking into it. We have the very message that Daniel's talking about. Heavily dropping. Retirement of some Teams and Microsoft 365 connectors MC512209. This message did get an update because it was a little ambiguous. We have one of our avid listeners had let us know about this and said, can you cover it? Can you clarify this for us? What are connectors? Connectors are ways of bringing in information from different systems into the places that we work and communicate. Teams is certainly one of those places where we've been able to connect to, let's say, a social media service or a service that delivers some kind of updates. We can bring in the content as a message and then discuss it as a team, and that's automated. Well, some of these connectors, and this also spreads across applications like Outlook as well, some of these connectors are going to be retired, which I'm not sure why, but let's have a look at, let's say why. I think it's based on feedback. Maybe it's based on how much it takes to maintain the service, or maybe there's some significant changes to the service. But there is a list of connectors that have already started dropping off the radar. They are stopping connecting. They're no longer connected. Disconnected connectors. And so, retirement will begin in mid-March. So that's kind of contrary to the message. We expect to complete it mid-April. You're going to get more information from this help and support link at the bottom, which I probably should have changed to light mode instead of dark mode, but we'll just leave it for there for now. There is a list of connectors down here. The following connectors aren't available for use from January 2023 onwards. Daniel, we had a look at that list.
Yes.
Was there anything in that list that you recognize or found value in, or maybe even it's in use right now?
Several things, but first I will say Forms. Microsoft Forms is on that list. So you could see there in the shot. That's interesting. MailChimp is another that it's a third party, but getting some interaction there. SharePoint News is another one that people are using to post when a news item is posted, bringing it into Teams, for instance. And so that is something that's being used, and it is being retired. And if you are not using it, you can't add it anyway now, basically, because I tried at least. They're going to roll it, eliminate it. So, that's where we're going to have to come, it would have really scared me if Logic Apps or Power Automate was on here. It's not. But so, that's one way you could bring some of this stuff in, and maybe a reason why they want to, I don't know. I'm just guessing. But, and then, Zendesk, something, Darrell, you've highlighted there. Remember, you think about, a ticket has been created. It's great to have that ticket added to a Teams start a thread so you can start having a conversation on it, right? To take care of it. Well, you're not going to be able to do that anymore using the connector. And so you're going to have to use another connector to bring it in, like Logic Apps or Power Automate.
Yeah. So, I'm going to throw in some Twitterish stuff there too. Though I'm sure that that API is broken too, so you're not going to be bringing any tweets in. So have a look through that list. Evaluate whether it's going to affect you, or if it had already started to, like the SharePoint News thing. There might be replacements and different ways of bringing some of this content in. It could be they're looking to the developer for their own app and their own adaptive card or something like that. So for services which are providing useful information into your teams, I'm sure there's going to be a way to bring content in, but it's not going to be these connectors anymore. So anyway, beginning, I would say nowish rather than mid-March, because we know, and expect to be complete mid-April, but that date, I don't know about that either,
Yeah.
Could be earlier than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But let's move on to your message, Daniel. I want you to caption this. Something's happening. You're playing something. Give me the next caption.
Like a piano or?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Video closed caption in PowerPoint Live MC513049. This is what the title says. Basically, in PowerPoint Live, which is where you can present in Teams, being able to present PowerPoint. But if you put in a video in your PowerPoint, then you'll be able to have captions show up there in Teams, not just for the spoken word of you talking, but also for the video that is being shown in PowerPoint. Now, that's great, right? What would be even better is if it did it automatically. It does not do it automatically, actually. So the way the process works, though, is in PowerPoint, when you add the video, you can then go and say, here's the closed captions for this video in PowerPoint. And once you upload that separate file that's closed captions, then when you do PowerPoint Live, it will show the caption for the video when the video plays. So there is that extra step. It's also an extra step that, generally speaking, in my experience, is not free. It's something that you have to pay for to generate captions from a video. Now, you can get around that. There's some ways to do that. I know there's multiple ways to get some generated captions, but there's also you can do it manually. You can create your own, but goodness, that takes a while to do. There's ways to do it, but you have to manually add it. So this is rolling out early March and expected to be completed by mid-March. So it's fairly quick. And then GCC will roll out in March as well, and GCC High in April, and DoD in May. So it's nice to see that rolling out for those higher level of tenants. Do you use PowerPoint Live often, Darrell? And if so, do you include videos when you're doing that?
That would be the case when I would use PowerPoint Live. I think I don't use it often enough, just because of how I do like to switch between a slideshow and then a demo and something else. I tend to share a window on my desktop, because when you do try and share PowerPoint Live, switch to something else, come back to PowerPoint Live, it's not often a quick experience. But if I was to share a video and it was all about going through that kind of discussion and then showing a video of a demo, that would be the best experience, because everyone gets to see the video effectively locally. And that's so the captions feature will be useful. And there are some organizations which that's mandated, got to provide captions for certain presentations, because you need to be inclusive of all languages.
Indeed. And so anyway, I'll look forward to it. I would really like to have a easy workflow of creating caption files from videos that is free. I know I'm cheap, but it would be really great to be able to do that. There's ways around it, like I mentioned before, but it sure would be nice to have some way to do it easily.
Yeah, I mean, you could upload it to a free video service and download the best attempt at the captions, I guess.
Yeah, it again. But then you have to upload, get the file, download.
Or to stream. No?
Again, like I said, I would like to have a file and then just be like... Pfft.
Yep. Okay.
Anywho, you know what? Maybe you could suggest a file to me.
I could, yeah.
I do video.
But maybe I've forgotten to do something about that, and it's suggested to me. That's why it's a suggestion. Suggested files and one-to-one chats. Is this a one-to-one chat? I mean, I feel like there are people watching. Okay, they're watching. Yep. So maybe
they're just peering over our shoulder.
Maybe they could make
you
suggestions.
and I are chatting. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, click there.
No. Oh, it's like watching my dad play a game. Oh man, he's terrible on PlayStation. So frustrating. This is as something that we have experienced in Outlook, where we might be typing away or said some kind of language like the Word document is, or I'm going to attach this file. You go to send the email and it's, oh, hang on, you said something about a file, but you haven't done it. I've got like a different language pack, so that's actually the word for word what appears in my window is, whoa, you forgot the attachment, buddy. You got to get that theme. It's really cool. Anyway, this is coming as an experience also to Teams. So when you might have a chat and you're explaining to someone, yes, I'll send that file through to you, or maybe they've said the same thing, that it will come up with a pop-up. I thought we had help and support. Here it is. There'll be a little thingo there. It's actually in the thumbnail for our video. Can you share your Q4 planning with me? So this is something you can click, and then it's going to display a suggested file. So that might be a mix of files you've worked on recently, but potentially it's been up on the Q4 planning. So that the person in the chat has mentioned a few key words that are part of the file name, and so it's there as a suggested file to upload. It is only available in one-to-one chats, and these files, I'm not sure where they are actually. These could be in a team, they could be in OneDrive, but I like it, Daniel, because in regular circumstances, if we had a conversation and I should have attached something, maybe I'd forget. But if I did remember, it's a couple of clicks away. It's the plus sign. It's add the attachment. It's browse through and try and find it. It's 2 or 3 clicks deep. This one is, hey, here's some files.
But we don't know where they are.
Maybe that'd be information underneath the triple dots.
Yeah, and how does it know it's very convenient that it's showing the presentations. What was the thing that was asked? Did it say
Can you share your Q4 planning with me? So it's Q4 plan.
Sure.
And am I Erica? I love doing this. Hi Jason.
I'm guessing.
Can you share?
I'm guessing it is. This is the graph, right?
I'm
guessing it is files you've worked on with whoever this is asking, as well as files you've recently worked on. Kind of maybe in that order of,
Q4,
importance
Q4,
of
quarterly,
what it's showing.
Q4. A lot of Q4s in there. There's also a convenient upload button if you don't see something there that is relevant. And we don't know how far this will scroll. But it's a screenshot. It's a render. Maybe it's a something of what the experience will actually be. But it does improve the situation as you're in a one-to-one chat. Why won't it appear in one-to-many chats or in Teams channel conversations? Don't know. Is it coming? Might be. But your one-to-one chats.
That is where my mind goes. Is if it's just one-to-one chat, then that's OneDrive.
Yeah.
That's where the files are stored, right? So that's why I was asking, where is it coming from? Because is it just looking in OneDrive, and then that's why it's not in channel chats? Because that's SharePoint and OneDrive or whatever,
Yeah.
So
inquiring minds want to know, and maybe if we read the article a bit closer, we'd find the answer.
No, I read it.
Yeah, no, actually
it's
it doesn't.
not there.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It just says tap one of the suggested files. Where you go.
Yeah.
There is though, that little question mark beside it. Maybe that takes them to this very page, or maybe to a docs. Learn.microsoft.com.
Come on, Darrell.
Page. Yeah, no, it's a habit. It's a habit. Daniel, let's break that habit. Let's talk about some Viva Connections news.
Okay. When the last time you were on your iPad in Viva Connections, you brought up Teams, you went to Viva Connections. What was some of the interactions that you did there?
Well, we just had the choice of dashboard, didn't we? I don't know. Let me try that.
While Darrell is pulling that up, and he gets my joke, this is Microsoft Viva Connections is available on iPad. MC 513051. This is releasing
Daniel?
Viva Connections will be available on iPad. If you use it now, it says, sorry, it's not available on a tablet.
Hey, you didn't say spoiler alert. I'm not even here at the end of the movie.
Spoiler. It just says not available on a tablet, which is a bit confusing. Why is it not? Well, okay, they're catching up. So this will be, and that's really what it is. And Darrell's showing there on the video, although
no, I'm not.
It
disappeared.
It disappeared, but it gives a nice message saying not error, but it says it is not available on this form factor with a little.
Yeah.
It is rolling out early March, completed rollout by mid-March, just in time for all of the renaming of Yammer to Viva Engage as well. So we're getting this for Viva Connections on iPad, and we'll have all that excitement around Viva in March.
Daniel, though,
yes.
Sorry, I was so distracted trying to get this to work because I can only do one thing at a time.
Right, of course.
Sorry, I was solving your problem, and I'm sorry I don't have a solution right now.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's not your problem because it's not your iPad. It works on yours, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't.
No, it's partway there. Okay, but what connection experience is going to be here? Did you ask that? Like, is it going to be my home site page, or is it going to be that new landing page thingo with the different Viva apps?
Viva Home.
Viva Home.
Viva Home. It is a very good question that we don't have the answer to, which is it like the mobile phone experience, which is I was about to say something that's not true. But it's basically that experience of it's not your desktop, right? You just get access to the dashboard, you get access to navigation and to news. And so is it like that, or is it like desktop experience in Teams, which is what you're talking about? Is it your home experience with whether you've got the default that Microsoft pushed out, which is the Viva Home, or you're using a SharePoint home site as your intranet? We don't know. It is a gateway. I'm looking at the roadmap item, which is the only information we have in this, and it's a gateway to a modern engagement experience. But we don't know.
Can I make an assumption? Can I call a hot take? I think
Sure.
it's going to be the new Viva Home, because on a tablet, on an iPad, if you put the current mobile experience over there, what would you put in all that space for resources? It's just this, line of here's my global menu. What would you? Okay, the dashboard could take up as much space as it needs to if it's designed that way. But I think it's going to be the new Viva Home.
Even if you have a home site.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I think you're wrong, because I think, here's the thing. You may not be wrong, but I think that experience is wrong, because if I have a home site set, and we've talked about what this all means in a previous episode, if I have that set, then when I'm on my desktop, I see that when I go to Viva Connections. Okay.
Yeah.
But then I go to my iPad and I don't see that. That's a disconnected, and maybe that's why they didn't put it in this message, because they didn't want us on this show calling them out. Anyway, so that's all the information we have. Some conjecture, some guessing going on.
Yeah.
And I'd really like for them to improve this message, just like improving the SharePoint pages authoring experience.
Well, thank you, Daniel, for that introduction. This message is what he just said it was. Improvements to SharePoint pages authoring, MC 513976. What kind of improvements are we expecting to see? Well, at a glance at that title, I thought, oh, goody, what else is coming? What new toys have we got? This update seems to be focused on languages and content on pages for that. The way that text is spaced, and use of external images in hero web parts. Let's slow down and have a look at each one. Microsoft Editor is the Grammarly experience within Microsoft that helps you more than improve your spelling and the way that you're phrasing things, but can help with the language. And if you are multilingual and you have set different applications and experiences to a different language in Microsoft 365, then Editor is going to be able to translate the language for you. That includes on SharePoint pages, where you might have chosen your primary language to be Spanish, for example, and that it's going to be able to change and proof that language. Some of us too who are multilingual can dip in and out of 2 or 3 different languages commonly, so it's going to proof both. The other experience in this update is spacing for text. Today, when you type up a paragraph in a text box on a SharePoint page and you hit enter, it assumes new paragraph, and so it leaves like a kind of a leading space, maybe 6 points between. You can clearly see it's 2 blocks of text, and it's actually going to change now to it being just a regular line. So there won't be that leading space. It'll just be another line down. Finally, the hero web part. If you have chosen to use images that are sourced externally, you're using a link to get out to that image from another site, then those will no longer work. So and this is to improve the rendering of the hero web part, because as the web part is loading, it's loading local images that you've chosen, but then it's also got to try and reach out and find that image from another website. And so they're wanting to limit that now to your uploaded images that are in your site, and stock images as well. Which I don't know, Daniel. When you use a stock image, is it then pulling it into your environment from the stock catalog?
That's a very good question. And right off the top of my head, I don't know.
I'm so disappointed.
I'm disappointed too that you didn't prep me with a question before you asked.
Oh no, yeah.
We're flying by the seat of our pants, people, and I'm going to go and look. I don't. Kind of thinking that it doesn't, but.
Well, it might be that the stock images are on the same content distribution network as wherever your SharePoint site is. So there's a copy of the catalog wherever you are, and that's why the performance is fine.
Maybe so.
But I would say too, Daniel, is it in this? No. Where was that link that talked about Kathy Doo's updates to SharePoint and things within templates and stuff? Here. No. Yeah. Is this related to it? I think it's one of the small updates.
It's not. It is the same team, working on this kind of stuff, but it's not the same. But Kathy Doo, who's on the SharePoint product team, is working and published a first. I was about to say episode, first post, on creating how to create a SharePoint communications and team site. That while I'm talking, I'm trying to pull up that link so we can have it and put it in the show notes as well. But she posted that, and I found it. It's on the tech community. And I will throw it into the chat real quick here to you, Darrell, so you can pull it up.
Cool.
And so it's called Building Beautiful Sites with Purpose, Part 1. And this was published last week. And Kathy just talking about how to use site type and template. And it's interesting to see that workflow that's happening there. Themes and colors and how to manage that and be a pro at doing that. And then so she's going to walk through doing this in this series. I guess it's a mini series, and this is part 1 post of that.
Yeah, I was going to try and relate it to the page authoring experience, kind of loosely related, but not in this bundle of updates here. So there will be a bundle of updates and messages related to what Kathy's mentioning here in terms of improvements as well. Just in the little bit of time that we have left, let's finish off the show talking a bit more about this Viva Engage drop. So I know that a few people in the chat were interested in hearing more about that. Daniel, I know we shared like a couple of ones that we're interested in seeing. What was we're looking at licensing for the content. Yes. Yeah, because everyone likes to look through and go, okay, well, sure. But what can we get to?
Yeah. So if you look at that article that we did in the pre-show, if you're on the video on YouTube, you can, if you're listening on audio, just go to 365mcs.com/272, and that will take you to the post about this episode, and you can get to the video real easily. But it's the pre-show bit at the very beginning. We're talking about this announcement that Yammer is going to be renamed Viva Engage. But today they also announced a bunch of premium features, we think. Some of them we know. But so if you go through the page, you look at Leadership Corner, and it talks about leadership. What is this Leadership Corner? but it doesn't say if a premium license is needed. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I'm just saying it doesn't say that. And then it talks about storyline announcements, and it doesn't say anything about needing a premium license either on that. Then it gets to Ask Me Anything events. And if you look at that, it doesn't say you need any sort of license for
Oh, there
that.
it is. Ask Me Anything events, just at the very bottom. Coming
Yes,
to
we're
Viva
becoming to
Suite
Viva
customers.
Suites. That's right. It does. Sorry,
Yeah.
I just missed that line. And then you go to campaigns, which is the next one. It doesn't say if this is something that's premium. Advanced analytics. It definitely says that is available for Viva Suite customers. That's premium, right? Something you have to pay more above and beyond your SKU, for instance. Answers in Viva. This is something that we've talked about on the show. It definitely requires Viva Suite and or a Viva Topics specific. You can use customers as well. And then talks about the admin center. And I don't think the admin center requires that. So it doesn't. Just the other ones that don't mention it at all, we know things about the licenses, but if you're reading this, you really don't understand. You don't know. Does Leadership Corner require a premium license? Does the ability to have campaigns? All of these? It would be really nice to have all that information there specifically. You can find it in other locations, but on this blog post, I think it would be nice.
Indeed. I do like Andy's comment there from the chat. Yeah, in a year where it's about do more with less, where we need to get more.
That wasn't about do more with less things that you have or be more efficient. It was, we're going to make you pay us, so you're going to have less so you can do more. I think that's what it was.
Satire. It's so much fun.
Indeed. I hope people think that was a joke.
Oh, totally. If you don't know Daniel, here's the subtitle. Here's the caption that we've uploaded previously. Was a joke. That was a joke. Not Daniel was a joke. What you said.
I do have a button that has laughter, but you can't really hear it, unfortunately.
No, it sounds like you're dragging something across your desk. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I've got a gasp.
No, that sounds like
you.
Yeah, no, that's something else entirely. Dear, oh dear.
Thank you, everyone, for being here, for participating in chat. We had some really great chat conversation going. Thank you for the audio podcast listeners. We really appreciate you. That audience is growing every single week. Love seeing that. And if you would like to jump on the audio train, we are on every podcast delivery network. So go wherever you get your podcast, and we're there. Just search for 365 MCS. That's all you have to do. You'll find us. Thank you so much for being here. We hope we were informative. And if we were, would you please share out this episode, whether it's audio or the video episode? Please, will you share it out on socials and tag us at 365 MCS? We'd really appreciate that. That would actually really help us out a lot. I'd appreciate that.
We need the level of enthusiasm where someone like Phil is live tweeting everything that we say, like it's some big announcement. That's when we know that our show has made it.
Well, then maybe I don't know if we should use that as
live
the criteria.
On the Verge. We are live. We're live blogging Daniel and Darrell's show on the Verge.
Nice.
Right.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a great week.